I joined the class, number one, to understand more on how things handled in the infrastructure or the project financing side over in Africa. I've been looking to work in Africa for quite some time. I have some relationships over there that we're working on, and I have had some failed deals over there in Africa. When I first came over there, I didn't quite understand exactly how project financing worked on that side of the globe versus over here in the United States. So I had several failures, and as I pursued the knowledge and understanding more of how to structure and put some things together, I wanted to learn exactly from someone who has been doing it. So I signed up for the Brickstone Infrastructure Development Finance class, and that's where I came on board with. From my world, I grew up off the floor of the American and the Philadelphia Stock Exchange. I was an options trader, and I worked 5-6 years on a finance desk in Citigroup with fixed income. So when I looked towards Africa, I wanted to bridge that gap in my understanding of exchange traded products and using the exchange to help finance companies and things of that nature over there in Africa. The difference between the two is we have a different type of establishment on the floor, even though it no longer exists because it went upstairs into the larger banks. Now, over there, there's a differential. There's a differential of understanding of using the exchange as your hedging mechanism. It's starting to develop, but it's still far, far behind from what we do here in the US. And also, there's a difference of using, even though you do have listed bonds and things of that nature, but I don't see any brokerage firms or brokerage houses over there in Africa really trying to be aggressive and trying to bring the business over here to the United States to connect itself over to the United States. I know a lot of activity goes on in London, but it doesn't come over here to the United States. So I'm looking to try to help figure out a way to bridge that gap. So I joined the program once again to actually put down my model in type of your framework, which helps you understand differently than I do over here. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the exchanging of knowledge to help me have a better understanding of how to work over in Africa. I'm still working on that. I turned in my first assignment, had some dialogue, which I appreciated greatly, and I'm going back to restructure it. So I realized, and I was told some suggestions and some better ways to improve my model. So I'm going to go back and reorganize and restructure my model and then send it back in for a reevaluation. I would say my aha moment was taking a different look at revenues. I'm going to quote that word, predictable cash flow. I love that because I always look for cash flow in my models, but I never thought about it in the way it was presented for infrastructure or financing of governmental projects or either civilian projects inside of this type of model. So now my aha moment was a different point of view of predictable cash flow. Have an understanding in what you're getting into. In order to maximize your full return of the lessons and the learning atmosphere and the learning materials, have a good understanding on what it is that you're doing, what you want to get out of the program, and you got to go back and continuously on reading. You got to keep on reading, and you got to follow the lesson plans continuously. You got to keep going back and forth, because sometimes you're going to miss them little small tidbits in what he's trying to bridge over to you. So one of my key issues is the learning material. You just have to keep reading it over and over and over again until something triggers you, and then you're able to really put the whole entire picture together. This is not a one course deal. This is a real learning platform that has to be reinforced, redeveloped, and reused going forward. Sooner or later, the student will find out what avenue of this program helps them in the real life.